Cinderella movies that will make your heart melt. These types of movies focus on the famous rags to riches Cinderella story. A diamond in the rough is ultimately discovered and put in her proper place. This theme is used widely to this day with its various types and allusions permeating Hollywood films. Welcome to DLP Movie and Let's count down top 10 best Cinderella movies that will make your heart melt. Rags. Rags follows the story of Charlie Prince, an orphan living with his acerbic and unloving stepfather and spoiled, simple-minded stepbrothers. Charlie's dream is to be a singer, and while he is vocally talented and can write music, he can't seem to catch a break. Katie Worth, on the other hand, is the daughter of music mogul Reginald Worth and is an international pop phenomenon, despite every obstacle that gets thrown in their way. Once Charlie and Katie find one another, they each finally get what they have been looking for: a voice, a stage, an audience, and each other. The story is completely different, which brings the nicest musical feelings. This movie allows you to bond with some characters, and as you follow those characters through your life and teach you to always be honest. Stay true. Rags is truly one of those films that makes you feel happy about oneself for watching, and leaves you with the feeling that music can change the hearts, even if only through one heart. It's about working towards one's goals, commitment, and believing in oneself. The Prince and Me. For the second time in her career, Julia Stiles plays a character romancing the Crown Prince of Denmark in The Prince and Me, a romantic wish fulfillment fantasy from director Martha Coolidge. Far from her role as Ophelia in 2000's Hamlet, however, Stiles plays Paige, a plucky, determined college student from the Midwest who's buried in her last few semesters of pre-med studies, when she meets Eddie, a brash, impudent Danish foreign exchange student, who just happens to have a mysterious partner shadowing him in everything he does. What Paige doesn't know that Eddie is in fact the spoiled son of the King and Queen of Denmark, on holiday in America hoping to find the non-stop kick party complete with buxom American babes. What he and his butler don't count on is squalid dorm life, final exams, and the possibility that Eddie might actually find his true soulmate in the sensible Paige. But when Eddie finally reveals his secret, will Paige want to give up her dreams of becoming a doctor for a playboy prince?
Oh no.
What?
You didn't tell me you lived with your parents.
Hi. She is a commoner.
Mother, you cannot tell me whom to love and how to...
Cinderella. Simple yet utterly charming. Cinderella never tries to ground its story in realism but rather embraces the magic of Disney. While the movie does lay some foundational ground for some characters, it remains a faithful adaptation of the 1950 animated classic. Lily James plays an innocent, kind and enigmatic Cinderella, gracing the screen with a sincere performance, while Kate Blanchett also adds some menacing depth to Lady Tremaine. The direction is flawless from Kenneth Branagh, with livid and breathtaking set pieces, especially that at the Royal Palace.
Now, where are those mice? They're made of glass. And you find that ring.
The movie never claims to be less or more but rather a retelling of a beloved classic. Disney's second renaissance is now flourishing. Cinderella is a loving ode to storytelling past, as well as a perfect example to the kind of modern family film that can be sweet, wholesome, and yes, charming, without recycling every trick in the book or talking down to an adult audience. What a Girl Wants. What a Girl Wants is for the most part a touching story that is almost on par with The Princess Diaries and A Walk to Remember. Amanda Bynes plays a fun-loving teenager named Daphne Reynolds from Chinatown, NY. She has grown up in a single-parent home. Her mom is a musician and often plays for wedding receptions. And though she appreciates all her mother has tried to do in raising her, Daphne still has two sentimental hopes. Every birthday, her wish is to meet her father. Every wedding gig, she laments the traditional father-daughter dance.
Get over yourself because I'm not going anywhere.
Amanda Bynes, Colin Firth.
Strange how easy it comes, isn't it?
What?
Worrying.
These touching moments work and help draw the audience into the story, as Daphne soon finds out. Her long-absent father, a wealthy and prominent political figure, lives in London, England. It isn't long before our spirited American teen makes the journey to loosen up the local aristocracy. Amanda Bynes turns in a charming performance as both a fish out of water and a reluctant Cinderella, and Colin Firth does an excellent job as the father who did not realize he had a daughter. What a Girl Wants is a fairly harmless fairy tale with an enchanting storybook feel. A Cinderella Story, Once Upon a Song. Kirana de Bergerac meets Cinderella. Overworked, harried and terrified of being put back in foster care, 17-year-old Katie does her stepmother and step-siblings' bidding without complaining. Vocally gifted, Katie feels particularly upset when forced to lay down singing tracks so that her untalented stepsister, Bevan Ravensway, can hopefully win a recording contract from Massive Records, whose company president, Harvey Morgan, is scouting for new spectacular talent at a talent showcase for the Performing Arts Department at a prestigious private school. This is another great addition to the series of recent Cinderella movie adaptations. Once again, another adorable couple with a happily ever after ending. Cinderella. The story of Cinderella is one of the more beloved tales of the Disney universe, becoming such a pop culture sensation for its time. It helms one of the most basic storylines of its kind, but it has one of the best executions onto the screen, as Cinderella is living a life of slavery to her family. Her dream is to meet the king and attend the annual ball. Aside from the unnecessarily dragged out first half with the my-side plot, this film is enchanted beyond belief. This story has sparked what have become many children's films today, and filmmakers around the world will strive to create something.
Hello, Gus. Jacqueline. So this is where you take refuge. Me too, it would seem.
As original as this is, it's not quite filled with enough story in the first half, but Cinderella is a great film. Ella Enchanted. Adapted from author Gail Carson Levine's award-winning children's book of the same name, the Miramax-financed modern fantasy Ella Enchanted is directed by Tommy O'Hiver and stars the Princess Diaries alumna Anne Hathaway. Ella Hathaway lives in a magical world in which each child, at the moment of their birth, is given a virtuous gift from a fairy godmother. Ella's so-called gift, however, is obedience. This birthright proves itself to be quite the curse once Ella finds herself in the hands of several unscrupulous characters whom she quite literally cannot disobey. Determined to gain control of her life and decisions, Ella sets off on a journey she hopes will end with the lifting of the curse in question. The path, however, isn't easy. Ella must outwit a slew of unpleasant magical creatures, ranging from ogres to talking books with evil plots. Though careless, Ella's adventures turn out to be necessary obstacles in the path toward finding herself, and maybe even true love along the way. A funny, unconventional fairy tale that goes passably Bollywood. Anne Hathaway does some really nice crying and singing. Another Cinderella story. Prepare for plenty of music, lots of dancing, and even a little magic in this reworking of the Cinderella legend, featuring High School Musical star Drew Seeley as a young Prince Charming in search of the ideal girl. It's never easy being the new kid in school, but young Joey Seeley.
If I don't get home by midnight, I am dead.
I have to go.
Wait! I need to find somebody who was at the dance last night.
And if you don't, you'll die.
If only he were to find a pretty girl who was willing to teach him the ropes around his new high school, Joey could finally stop fretting about fitting in. Perhaps Mary, Selena Gomez, is just such a girl, though the Cinderella is more likely to waltz in a new pair of dancing shoes than a pair of glass slipper. This movie is a wonderful retelling of the original Disney animated version of Cinderella. A Cinderella Story. Samantha, or Sam, has a rough childhood with her father dying in an earthquake and a new stepmother with two awful stepdaughters. But on the bright side, Sam has an awesome best friend named Carter and an email relationship with a guy named Nomad. One day, Sam gets an email from her Nomad saying that he wants to meet her in the middle of the dance floor at their high school Halloween dance. She accepts the invitation and glides into the room wearing the best outfit ever. Her Nomad takes her outside where they share a romantic dance together, and Sam realizes that her email friend is the most popular guy in school, Austin Ames. She runs back to her stepmother's diner before she knows she went to the dance and drops her phone on the way. Austin finds it and starts a search for his Cinderella.
By the book. Okay, it's time to meet Cinderella.
You are so dead.
I'm Cinderella. I'm Cinderella.
Ever After. Ever After is a wonderfully imaginative romance. It's a classic Cinderella tale set in 16th century France and revolves around an independent young woman named Danielle. Although she works as a servant for her stepmother, Danielle is anything but weak and subservient. She is passionate and strong-willed, qualities that lead her to the French court dressed as a wealthy courtier to save a man's life. There she meets the handsome Prince Henry, who is jaded by a suffocating rural lifestyle. He is fascinated by Danielle and her thirst for life and adventure, and they fall deeply in love, but her jealous stepmother will do anything to keep them apart. Drew Barrymore turns in a stunning performance as Danielle. Her emotions are raw and realistic, and she gives the character charm, wit, and beauty.
Milady, you may have anything you can catch.
Angelica Huston brings a third dimension to her role as the evil stepmother, who is usually just portrayed as a flat character. In this movie, she is an ambitious mother who would do anything to make her own daughter a queen. The prince is also usually a pretty flat, cliché character, but Dougray Scott brought a refreshingly human side to him and portrayed his struggles and conflicts very well. A wonderful movie for all lovers of romance. What is your favorite movie from the list? Let us know below and do not forget to subscribe.